Hey you guys, so we are going to go ahead and we're going to do part 2 of this study guide. So we're going to talk a little bit about genetics and some of the other things that you guys might see on there. So epigenetics. Epigenetics means like above the genes. So this is going to mean above the genome, and basically in epigenetics we're talking about how the environment can go ahead and influence genes. So that is the big deal on there, is that your environment can influence your genes. And it does this by turning genes on and turning genes off. Turn genes on or off. Right, and that is kind of like your big deal with your epigenetics, is that you can turn genes on, you can turn genes off, depending on the different choices that you make, and depending on your lifestyle and all of that. Those are big things that can turn genes on or can turn genes off. Okay, complete dominance. So complete dominance means that you have one dominant and one recessive. And then the one in the middle, you guys are going to see is that it goes ahead and it shows the dominant genes. In codominance, you have two dominant genes, and sometimes you have one recessive. It really depends on the problem. In codominance, you guys are also see like stripes and spots. So that is going to be your most common thing. Another thing that you guys will see on this one is blood type. So those are some big things that you guys will see on there. Incomplete dominance is a blend, or a mix, or like a gradient. So you guys will see a dominant, you guys will see a middle, and then you guys will see like your recessive. And then that is how you guys know that you guys are dealing with an incomplete dominant deal. So these ones, incomplete dominance, this one uses the same letter. You guys have to remember that in codominance, it is different letters. So those are some of the things that you guys will see on there. Crossing over is our chromosomes during meiosis. And usually what will happen is that our two chromosomes look something like this, right? So our two chromosomes like this are going to go ahead and trade info, right? So let me put this in a different color so you guys can see it. So we have our two chromosomes that are homologous, and they're kind of like side by side like this, right? Then after crossing over, what will happen is that they will exchange a small piece of DNA, and they basically go ahead and they trade some of these genes with each other. So like you guys will see that there's like a green spot right there, right? This guy is green with a little bit of blue, right? And it's just an even exchange. Okay, so that's going to be like some of the big things that you guys will see. Okay, DNA from each of your parents. So from each parent, you get 50% mom and 50% dad. Some of the things why you don't look exactly like a one parent or another, right? You may have inherited some dominant traits from your mom and then some recessive traits from your dad. So then you might look more like your mom than your dad. But no matter what, you get 50% from mom and 50% from dad. And that's because you get half of your DNA is in the egg and the other half of your DNA is in the sperm. Okay. So in humans, brown eye color is dominant to blue eye color. So this is going to be a complete dominance, and I know this because I have two traits going on. So I have brown and I have, so capital B is going to be brown and little b is going to be blue. And then if I have a heterozygous female with a blue-eyed male, what are the children's genotypes and phenotypes? So a heterozygous means that I have one capital and one lowercase. And then I have a blue-eyed male, which means that he's recessive. So I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to cross these. Oops. So then you guys will see right here that I have 50% brown, which is capital B lowercase b, and 50% blue, which is little b. Okay, so it says on here, a baby has type O blood. What are the possible parents' combinations for their blood type, right? So if you guys are thinking on here, how do I get this OO? And there are kind of a variety of different ways. So for one, you can have both parents that have OO blood. So we have OO parent for, let's go ahead and let's make a list. So mom and dad. So first of all, both parents can have own blood and they will pass down that blood to their child. Or you guys can have your parents with an AB, right? An AO, right? And a BO, right? Or the opposite way, you can have a BO, AO, right? And then both parents can have A and both parents can have B, right? And then you guys will see that on there, right? As you guys are completing your Punnett square, where these things collide, that is going to be some of the different things that you guys will see on there. All right. Environmental factors that influence epigenetics. So a couple of things. Number one is diet. So like sugars and fats and all of that can influence how much it is. The next thing is toxins. So toxins can be drugs, toxins can be pollution, right? All of those different things are things on there, right? And then your other thing is going to be physical activity. So how active you are or how not active you are, so whether you're active or not active, that can go ahead and that can influence your epigenetics. So all of these things are like some things that can go ahead and can influence you guys long term. But one of the things that you guys have to remember is that you guys can change these things. And then stress is another thing. So whether you have high or low stress. So those things are both things that you guys can do. Okay, thank you guys, and we will see you guys next time.